I bet you never knew your husband was David Dickinson. No. What are we up to, Paul?
So today we are.
Paul's laughing through delirium.
Yeah, hysteria.
Yeah, hysteria, because we're just about to
get up on the roof.
Get up on. Is this the cottage behind me?
Yeah.
We're just about to get up on the roof of cottage 3. And why are we doing that, Paul?
Well, because we have a huge hole here.
Yeah, right there.
And that has stopped our pointing, which you've been watching us do downstairs.
Inside.
So
the wonderful pointing of that massive wall is great.
But when it rains, obviously it comes down the wall and above, you know, where I would be pointing. And with it, it brings the tannings out of the oak, so it stains. So we didn't want that. So we put a pause on the pointing for a minute. We're now going to strip the roof tiles, all the battens, and put a waterproof, showerproof membrane on, which will sort that hole out, and then we can crack on with the pointing inside.
And that's part of the roof works that need doing anyway. You know, we need to, as you'll know from a previous video, a few videos back, we have tried to repair the slip tiles and the holes in the roof behind us, and it wasn't until we attempted to lay the roof ladder on the roof and all the tiles just started to ping and crack, and so it's not fit for purpose. That's clear. So it needs to be stripped, and no better time than now because we're heading towards good weather, Paul, aren't we?
Yeah, we've got a good dry spell ahead of us for a week or two. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Now is the time.
Now's the time.
Let's crack on.
So let's crack on.
It's going to be a good day. Do you think we'll get the tiles stripped, battens off, and membrane on all today?
It would be amazing. I've got a bit of repair work to do on the some timbers on this end bit here, but that shouldn't take too long to sort that out. And then we can just get the fabric on, and as long as it's battened down, and we're away.
And huge thanks as well to anyone that's donated.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially within the last week or two, because your donations are going towards buying, or have gone towards buying, roofing membrane, battens that we need, chevrons that we need for this job.
It's amazing.
And so thank you so much. We really couldn't proceed without you guys. It means the world to us. So thank you all for following us and you know, kind of helping us along with this
your lovely comments
project.
As well.
Absolutely, yeah. It's brightens our day.
Drives us along.
It drives us along, keeps morale high, and helps Le Boulier. We're all in this together. So alone I can't, together we can. Thanks so much for that. Right, should we crack on stripping this roof, Paul? Let's go.
One long. You should be, I'll do it in a second. Slide it down this side, Tom. Through the step out. Okay, I'm not going to do that. More up here, it's quite terrifying. Does it seem loose? Right down, perfect. Oh, tuck it over.
Feeling a bit daunted, Paul, aren't we?
We are, Poppet.
That's the face of a man that's daunted. I've got the same face.
Very close to tears if you really want to know.
Oh, don't. I know, it's intense. And it's not intense because we're removing these tiles.
No, it's changed since we've been up here.
You know, you just can't escape. And there's dear Tom, just quickly. Give us a wave, Tom. Tom's our 4th poppet. Or he's the other 3rd poppet. Orlando's gone on to other things and Tom's with us today. Anyway, this is what's caused us to feel like we've bitten off more than we can chew. From the ground, this partial collapse of cottage 2, cottage 2.5 looks bad, but whenever we come up here, the gravity of it is just quite overwhelming for us. You know, that ridge beam, that's got to come out. It's all shot to bits. It's all absolutely shot to bits. This stonework, it's all bad. You don't feel safe when you're up here.
No, and it is again, you know, this wall here that you've just shown people, you know, it's all stuff, you know, I can do this, that's fine, it's all part of this whole roof thing. But when you look at that,
Feels too big, doesn't it?
And see that, it's mammoth.
You know, we were just saying.
Scaffolding as well.
I'm
trying to do it off of scaffold towers. Yeah.
This is it. We were just saying about, you know, we know that the utilisation of machinery, a telescopic, proper, an abundance of proper scaffolding, stuff like that, would all make this a lot easier. And once again, it always boils down to funds. You know, we didn't plan, for most of you that know our story, we didn't plan on buying a hamlet. This happened organically, didn't it?
It certainly wasn't, yeah, we didn't buy it just to, oh, let's restore a whole village. It just wasn't like that.
No.
It's not how it came about. But
You know,
as it is in our possession now, there's things we've got to do. But
you know, we bought our first cottage, the first one in the row, didn't we? That came with a little garden, and it wasn't till signing day we found out that it came with cottage number 2,
yeah,
which has got the stunning 900-year-old fireplace in it. So that was a bonus, that was fine. And then cottage 5 collapsed. The corner of cottage 5 collapsed, didn't it?
yeah.
And it was at that point we thought, who owns this? You know, because, you know, long story short, we thought, fast forward 20 years, and if each cottage collapses, this is going to have an impact on our cottage.
Yeah.
So anyway, we found out who owned it, and we bought it, knowing we didn't have any funds, but thinking, well, the person that bought it 25 years ago hasn't been back, and so maybe because we live here, there's more chance of it surviving than in our hands than there is that person's hands. So that was kind of the thinking behind it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And then because we haven't had a budget, because we haven't had any funds, we haven't been able to immediately press forward. So actually, it just makes us feel like,
Maybe this is too much.
it just feels like Le Boulier is as doomed in our hands as it was their hands, but we've got the misfortune of seeing the collapse because we live here, whereas the previous owners were blissfully unaware. It just feels big at the minute, you know, looking at that, if that was ground level, not a problem.
Yeah.
Completely fine. It's the fact that it's that high up. All this work is this high up. And without machinery, you know, it's a tough task. But then we were just saying, weren't we, Paul, that when these houses were built hundreds of years ago, they didn't have telescopics. They didn't have scissor lifts then.
No. They did it all off of, well, you can see that's what the holes in the wall are for, where they used to plug bits of wood in and work off boards as they went up.
But I guess they had a team of people.
Yeah.
You know, and people say to us volunteers, but we can't get volunteers involved with this kind of work.
No, Christ.
There's a
We'd
massive,
never get insured for
there's
a
a
start.
massive safety issue, isn't there?
Couldn't do it. Wouldn't work. Anyway.
So, but yeah, so machinery is our way out, but yeah, it feels like
Massive at the minute.
our mood has slumped somewhat. It feels like we're never going to do this, and we've bitten off more than we can chew, and those words get stuck in my throat. It doesn't feel very nice to say that. And there'll be people out there that are saying, well, of course you have. What were you doing buying a Hamlet with no money? But again, our thought process behind that was one of hope and one of, you know, love for Le Boulier and wanting. Anyway, I've got to move on. I'm glad the cameras are not focusing on me. Anyway, we're gonna crack on and. How does it feel up there, Paul?
I'm alright when I adjust to it.
Are you well adjusted?
I'm nearly well adjusted.
I don't think any of us are well adjusted, having bought a Hamlet with no money.
No.
Slow progress, Paul, isn't it?
It is slow progress.
But it's progress nonetheless. Coming up to a third of the way across. So,
Clearing as we go.
Stripping
and clearing as we go.
Yeah, stripping and clearing as we go. So normally, if you had scaffold going the full width of the front elevation right away across there, then we'd be doing it in stages. Tiles first, off Paul,
Yeah.
Then battens off.
Yeah.
Then clean up the chevrons of all the old nails. Then put the fabric on.
Yeah.
Then tiles, or in our case, roof tins for the time being. But we don't want to keep moving this scaffold, which is only 6 foot or something wide. So we're trying to do it all as we go along. So we've taken the tiles off, stripped the battens, taken all the nails out, the chevrons. They're the upright bits. I don't know what the English term for them is. And they're all good. Replacing any rotten ones. That part of the truss scraped off a load of rotten off of there, but thankfully it's still hard as iron, the majority of it. But yes, so it feels slow because it is slower than just taking off the tiles. But we're doing 3 jobs at once, aren't we?
Yeah.
To try and save us moving that scaffolding all the time.
Yeah, just a bit of a thing.
Paul's got target practice, chucking the
doing
tiles
very well.
down. Absolutely no good for anything else. They're so brittle. All they're good for is putting on our terrace.
Yeah.
Broken tiles on the terrace. That's it really. But we are getting there. You're speeding ahead there, Paul.
Thank you.
You're like well over halfway. That's really good. Yeah, no, all the time we're standing on the wall, which is like the front wall is like 3 foot thick. It's great. We know that we need scaffolding, the full width of the cottage. The scaffolding that we have got is currently being used and it's at the gable end, that end, so it's a bit annoying. We need lots of scaffolding. Anyway, working with what we've got, as per usual at La Boulière. And we're getting there. Well, we got through the day, Paul, didn't we?
We did, just by the skin of our teeth.
By the skin of our teeth. We so gave up at so many points today. It's been a really tough day.
It has.
Yeah, we gave up on so many levels this morning, didn't we?
Yeah. But we saw it through.
We did, and we're pleased. You know, we've cleared all that. Annoyingly, we've got like
That square.
4 square meters or something to do, but that's going to take a couple of hours, and we haven't got enough time today to do that. So,
Morning we'll do that.
back first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
We'll probably get it covered and everything, won't we?
Yeah, hopefully.
Let's hope we wake up tomorrow and don't take a bite out of the crap sandwich, eh?
Yeah, we did this morning. It was a big bite. I'm still chewing it.
I feel like it's filling, isn't it, the crap sandwich? Okay then. Yeah, we'll check back later.